Holy moly. What's going on, everybody? This is a roofing sales chat. We're talking live about roof sales, roof marketing, roofing operations, finances. Going to be doing a lot more of these live streams because live streaming is the future. It's a great way to chat with people. So, we're going to be doing more of this. By the way, one thing I did want to mention, I'm going to be doing a webinar the 13th, Friday of March, not this upcoming Friday, but the following Friday. Um, we are opening up franchise locations all across the United States for SRS roofing. If you are a roofer who just started their company and maybe you don't have all the systems in place just yet, and you're trying to figure that out. Maybe you're trying to figure out the marketing aspect and how to achieve a steady flow of inbound leads from a single marketing channel. Or maybe you're getting enough leads, but sales is kind of an issue because maybe you are getting the leads, but you're not closing them. Maybe you are closing them and you're having operation problems, or maybe you're having financial issues. Regardless of what it is, we help with all that stuff. We have a multi-7-figure location that we run here in Washington State, and we are duplicating those processes that have allowed us to have success all across the United States in different locations. Right now, we're looking at Snohomish County, Washington. If you are in Snohomish County, send me a DM on YouTube or Facebook, whichever one you're on. But that one is open for the taking. Snohomish County is going to be a really big one. Regardless, though, all across the United States, no matter what county you're in, if you have 50,000 or more residential homes around you, you can claim that territory. And the reason I do these lives is because, well, transparently, I'm promoting the franchise, but also I want to, in exchange, give away as much free information that has helped me personally and the business grow into what it is now. So, over the past year and a half, it's been a complete overhaul of systemizing and really optimizing every part of the business and really compressing the time that it takes from when somebody comes in as a lead to when we sell them, and when the job is complete. And for us, number one, it's sped up our cash flow tremendously. Number two, it has given us a better experience for the customers. And that ultimately is what makes the biggest difference, is providing a better customer experience. Because if you only could do one thing, if you could, what you're selling and what you're giving to somebody is the peace of mind that you're going to do the right thing by them. So for a homeowner, it's the most important aspect It is like making sure that they feel comfortable with you and that when you deliver the things that you said you are going to deliver, obviously like quality products, making sure that the crews are friendly and clean on site, and that when you tell them something is going to happen, it happens, and that you're preemptively letting them know what the process looks like. And then that process happens after you told them it would. A lot of people, unfortunately, have problems with, um, you know, not setting expectations right. And their sales reps are, maybe it's like a big bro culture. It's just sell them, get them in there, make the deal. They don't really care about what happens after they make a sale. But for me, I like to run the whole job. When I sell it, I run it. I make sure I'm communicating with the customer the whole way through. A lot of that is ProLine helping. I don't know if you guys use ProLine, would definitely go sign up for that if you're thinking about a CRM. But regardless, the communication aspect is a massive piece of the customer's success with you and how they view your company. If you just ghost them and you don't follow up with them, and you, even if you don't make the sale initially, following up with them after a week, after 2 weeks, even within a couple days, depending on what type of, how you left off. For me, I will never not schedule another time to chat after I have the initial conversation with them, because I don't always close people on the first go round. But what I will do is I'll schedule a follow up conversation with them and just check in with them. So, people want you to communicate with them. They want to feel like you have their best interest in mind, that you're not just trying to make a sale, because you're not. You're looking to actually help them out in a way that makes your company, positions your company as the best in your area. And you just want to be hyper focused on your customer experience, and that's really the only way. And that's really like from the get go when I started in sales, that was the main focus, is focusing on the customer experience. That's really what it's all about. And if you go read Jeff Bezos' Amazon letters to his shareholders, he says the same thing. They invested so much into their customer experience that the product became the customer experience. That's the product. The product is the delivery. Like Amazon doesn't make the products. They just deliver them in a way that's the best delivery mechanism. And that's how you should be as a roofing company, is having the best method of delivery, which includes the guys that you hire to deliver the work, the salesperson to deliver the communication, and all the rest. I mean, the products are the products. You didn't make the products, but you're delivering. What you're really delivering is communication service, install service, and I mean, protection. What else is there? There's nothing else. So if you could just get good at those things, but the problem is that people never set up the processes and the systems to make those things a priority. If you make those a priority, then profit becomes a byproduct of your great service. That's the service. You're selling communication, and you're selling an experience. You know what I'm saying? But on these lives, I'm definitely going to be sharing some kind of pull the curtain back and show some of the things that have been working for me as far as sales go, and also marketing too, because the first boss, like this is like a video game. The first boss is the marketing boss, and that's the one that I feel most people are stuck on. And then once you solve that problem, then it becomes a sales issue and a time management issue and a team issue and a training problem. And all of those things are solvable. They're all solvable with the right systems. And that's really what the last year taught me, and what I had to go through to actually learn this stuff was I like to operate very systematically, and I like to write down what I do and stick to it so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time I'm showing up to somebody's house. I know that I can stick to this process that's worked for me and I can refine it over time, but at least I have the structure of it written down somewhere. And from the very beginning, I document everything. I've documented all of my notes, my process, and I've adopted some things and I've thrown them out because maybe they didn't serve me over time. But what I ended up with was a really strong process that was just simple, repeatable, that allowed me to manage my time and make a lot of sales. And I know there's some people out there are going to be like, I sold 3 million, 4 million, and I'm not claiming to be like an amazing salesperson by any means. I sold I sold 2 million in 8 months, in my first 8 months, and I think that's pretty decent. My average ticket was around 15,000, and my average profit margins were 30%, somewhere around there. So I think I could have done more profit, um, if I would have prioritized it and not really prioritize the, because your closing percentage really is just mostly I mean, in part, it's kind of a glamour metric if you really focus on just your close rate. I think that what you should focus on as a sales rep or even a business owner, regardless, is profits. That's really it. I mean, and that's all that matters is profits and net profit at that. I mean, your reps can't focus on net profit, but you as a business owner should just be focusing on net profit because that's the only thing that matters. That's really the only thing that matters. And if you're in growth mode, you're going to be purposefully reinvesting heavily back into the business, and you might not have the net profits that ultimately are going to allow you to achieve whatever financial freedom you're looking for, but it's a means to an end, right? And so if if before net you're at like 35% gross profit, and you're after net, it's like 15 when you're heavily reinvesting. That's all right, as long as you have a plan moving forward on how you're gonna grow. And that's what we help our guys with. Initially, we kind of lay out what their goals are and how they should reinvest their money in the franchise back into their own companies that they own. And we just we make recommendations on how much they should be spending on their marketing and how to track it, how to make sure it's actually working, and what's worked for us. And we don't like teach. We don't just teach what's worked for us. We teach the principles behind it, and I think that's what's really important is the principles behind why something works, and not just like, hey, we tried this and this works, but we're not really sure why. For me, when I run social media marketing campaigns, fundamentally, I can break down a campaign into what can work for any market, for any business. It doesn't matter if it's roofing, if it's, if you're digging in-ground pools, if you're trimming trees, whatever it is, there's a formula to it that just works. And um, if you go and study the ads that you see on Facebook, the ones that are good follow the same formula. It's really simple. And it's the same for all advertising. And it's not just advertising, it's also with sales. Like sales is it's not just the questions that you ask, but it's also the way that you manage your time and your system that you follow every time that you show up to somebody's house. That is how you become a great salesperson, or how you sell a lot. But again, if you guys, especially if you're in Washington State, if any of my Washington homies are watching this, maybe on Facebook, and listen, you don't have to have a lot of roofing experience. You don't have to have a lot of sales experience, although it does really help if you do. If you have some experience in the roofing industry, if you have some sales experience, but we're looking for candidates who would like to start a roofing location where we give you all the systems, all the processes for you to win. We give you all this stuff, and it's just you just run the playbooks. Okay. We give you the marketing, the sales, the operations, the finances, and we even install team members into your business to help you grow. And you have coaching on the back end, you have course training. There's so much to it. But all it is, it allows you as a salesperson to grow your own business that you own. You own it outright, and you can grow it with the help and the backup from us. We teach you how to fish. So your marketing, you learn how to run your own marketing. We help you with it, of course, initially, but the goal is to teach you how to fish. And I think a lot of guys, maybe they're hiring the wrong marketing people because they've never done it themselves and they're just trusting somebody, hoping that they can get them results. But ultimately, if it's something that you'd like to learn, we can teach you how to run your own Facebook ads or your own Google ads, how to build a landing page, things like that, so that you have that skill to take with you, and you can go and run your own ad campaigns like I did. Because for me, what I did is I went out and spent an hour, shot 5 videos, came back, ran them. One of those ads took off and it ran for 7 months straight. And today we can still turn it on and it will still deliver us leads. And that's how powerful Facebook and meta advertising is. Because if you just get one ad that's a winner, especially with roofing, because it's so highly profitable on the other end, I mean, you get $100 leads. 1 out of 3 leads closes. You're spending $300 to acquire a customer. Average profit margin is $3,500, $4,000. So you're spending $300 to make $3,000. That's a 10 to 1 CAC to LTGP, lifetime gross profit, which is a pretty big split. I mean, that's a great money machine. And that is what roofing and, let's say, Facebook ads or even Google ads, as long as you run them right, can get you, which is awesome. And so that's the stuff that I pass on to our franchisees who join SRS Roofing. And these are things I'm going to be sharing in these lives, because I think it's so important for people to know how to just imagine if you could literally go out today, film 5 videos, come back to your house. This can all happen in 3 hours. You post them. You just use your phone. You don't need anything other than your phone. You post them, and then within 2 hours, you're getting leads. You book them for the next day. You go out and make sales the next day. Easy. Super, super easy. And that's a reality. Like I do that. And so it's all of those skills or all of those results are at the other end of you just learning that simple skill. And then, but once you learn that, though, what you end up running into is, okay, now I've unleashed my leads. Now I have to figure out how to manage my time. And maybe I need to hire a front end person to manage my phone calls for me, the inbound calls, because my head's spinning. I'm going crazy. I got to manage these projects. I got to make these sales. I'm managing jobs in the morning. I'm making sales in the afternoon. Becomes a time management issue. And then if you want to hire a sales rep, well, now you got to train them. Now you have to have sales training, and you have to write all of this stuff down. Otherwise, you have no training documents. You have nothing. So it's difficult to pass that skill along. So not only do you need to be a good salesperson, you also have to be a good skill transferer. So you have to be able to train somebody and understand where they're at and be able to train that skill into them. And so instead of all that, you can do that. You could spend 3 to 5 years building this thing, or you could skip all that and just join a franchise opportunity that's going to allow you to fast track those 3 to 5 years into maybe 12 months or less. And the best part about it is that it is completely life changing for most people. Unless you're already a millionaire, then it's like, still it's a great business opportunity. But for most people, the roofing industry, it's the best. If you have any contracting experience, if you've ever installed a roof before, this stuff you can learn in a couple months. And sales you can learn very quickly, as long as you can articulate yourself to some extent. I mean, you'll go really far. So yeah, what we've did is we've just packaged up 3 to 5 years of learning into a program that you can do and get through it and fast track your learning in 12 months. And then you have continuous coaching and backing throughout your time. And it's awesome. And you grow something that you can eventually sell. And as you guys know, if you're in the roofing industry, private equity is foaming at the mouth to buy roofing companies that have a strong inbound flow of leads on demand, that don't just shut off when you shut off your ads. So strong SEO, that already have a built-in training system, built-in team that they can plug and play. The more plug and play it is for somebody who's looking to buy a business, the more they are likely to buy it for multiple and not just at cost. Right? And that's just facts. That is just facts. All right. But if you're watching this still, let me know. Leave a comment if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook. What part of the process right now in your wherever you're at, if you're thinking about starting a roofing business, or if you're starting a roofing business and somewhere you're stuck, somewhere you've hit a roadblock, whether it be with marketing, whether it be with sales, operations, or finances, which is the biggest killer, finances. But wherever you're at, marketing, sales, operation, finances, whether you're starting a roofing business or you've already started it, where are you stuck? Leave me a comment below this live, or if you're watching this later, and we can chat. Maybe I can help. Anyways, I got to hop off here. I will see you guys on the next one.